When you stood in front of the mirror, nothing felt unusual at first. The room was quiet, the air still, the light steady. A mirror should only show the version of you that exists in this exact moment, the face shaped by your past, the expression shaped by your day, the presence shaped by everything you've lived so far. But this time, the glass didn't obey the rules of the present. Your reflection hesitated for half a breath, as if the timeline itself needed a second to decide what it was allowed to reveal. Then it shifted. The face staring back at you wasn't the one you walked in with. It was sharper, more defined, illuminated from within. The eyes carried a depth that only comes from someone who has already crossed thresholds you haven't reached yet. The jawline held certainty. The posture radiated calm authority. You weren't looking at imagination, you were looking at your future identity, the upgraded version of you that already exists on a higher timeline. Mirrors reflect what is, not what will be. Unless what will be is so powerful, so destined, so spiritually anchored that it forces its way through the glass. For a moment, time folded. Reality glitched. And the mirror revealed what you were never supposed to see this early. Mirrors don't activate themselves. They don't open, distort, or shift unless something touches the field behind the glass. When you stepped in front of it, the mirror wasn't responding to your physical form, it was responding to your frequency. Your aura pressed against the reflective surface like a signal hitting an antenna, and for a brief moment, the boundary between timelines softened. Most people carry static energy, dull and predictable, so their reflections follow the rules without resistance. But your field isn't static. It's charged, expanding, accelerating. You're in a phase where your inner evolution is outpacing your current identity, and the mirror sensed the tension between who you are and who you're becoming. That's why the reflection didn't hold still. It trembled, adjusted, and revealed a version of you vibrating at a higher wavelength. This wasn't paranormal activity. This was timeline pressure. Your future self is growing strong enough to influence the present, strong enough to appear in reflective surfaces, strong enough to bend physical perception. The mirror didn't malfunction. It responded to a soul that is moving faster than the body that contains it. It reacted because your destiny is beginning to show through the cracks of the timeline, and the glass simply couldn't hide it. What appeared in the mirror wasn't symbolism, imagination, or a moment of mental projection. The changes you saw were real, measurable indicators of a future identity already forming inside you. The eyes were the first sign. They carried a sharper glow, a clarity that only appears in people who have shed old layers of fear and stepped into purpose. Eyes reveal spiritual rank before the rest of the face catches up. Then there was the structure, slightly more defined, slightly more aligned, as if your bones had begun adapting to the strength you're stepping into. Destiny doesn't just change your path. It reshapes your expression, your posture, your presence. The energy around the reflection was heavier too, but not in a burdensome way. Heavy in the sense of authority, the way leaders, prophets, and awakened souls carry a weight that others can feel without understanding. And the confidence you noticed wasn't imagined confidence. It was the calmness of someone who already survived things you haven't encountered yet. The reflection wasn't predicting who you might become. It was showing who you're already evolving into. The mirror simply revealed what your spirit has known for a long time, that your appearance, your aura, and your identity are upgrading faster than your present reality can display. What happened in that mirror can't be explained by physics alone. Science can describe light, reflection, and angles, but it cannot explain why a surface designed to show the present suddenly revealed a version of you that hasn't fully arrived yet. This wasn't a visual glitch. This was a hybrid moment, where spiritual truth briefly overpowered physical law. Mystics have spoken about this for centuries. The moment when identity, destiny, and time overlap in a single flash. They call it a reflection breach, when the future self steps forward to confirm the path you're entering. Shamans describe it as future confirmation, a moment where one's higher form acknowledges the progress of the present body. Monks see it as timeline recognition, where the soul recognizes its next evolution before the mind understands it. And heaven simply calls it becoming. Your reflection didn't show something imaginary, it showed something inevitable. The future version of you exists just beyond the boundary of the present, and your energy rose high enough for a moment that the veil thinned. The mirror responded not because it was magical, but because you crossed a threshold where destiny briefly became visible. This is the moment every awakened soul encounters, the instant when the future stops being a concept and starts becoming a presence. The timing of what you saw wasn't random. Your future self didn't appear because you were curious, emotional, or spiritually drifting. It appeared because you've reached a precise threshold, a moment where your inner evolution has accelerated faster than your outer life can currently reflect. When a person enters this phase, the future version of them begins to generate pressure on the present timeline. That pressure creates leaks, flashes, and moments of recognition. Your reflection wasn't a prediction, it was a checkpoint. A signal that you've outgrown the identity you've been carrying and are now entering the stage where spiritual maturity, emotional resilience, and divine assignment begin reshaping everything about you. The future you showed up early because your next chapter requires preparation. When a destiny is close, heaven reveals its outline before the breakthrough arrives, so your spirit knows exactly what it's stepping into. The confidence you saw, the clarity in the eyes, the refined structure, these weren't fantasies. They were previews of the qualities you're about to embody. The mirror didn't show you what might happen. It showed you what will happen, and what is already happening internally. This appearance was a summons, a confirmation, and a reminder. You're crossing into the version of yourself that your soul has been building toward for years. Experiences like yours are rare, but they aren't unheard of. Across different cultures and ancient traditions, mirrors were never treated as simple reflective objects. They were considered thresholds, dividers, and spiritual membranes between what is and what is becoming. In old Eastern monasteries, monks believed that mirrors occasionally revealed the future face of enlightenment, showing disciples the person they were destined to grow into. In indigenous shamanic traditions, reflective surfaces were used not to see the physical self, but to witness the next self, the version shaped by growth, trials, and awakening. Many shamans reported seeing older, wiser versions of themselves offering silent guidance through the reflection. In some African spiritual lineages, mirrors were called ancestral windows, where a person's future identity could appear when their destiny reached a critical turning point. Even early Christian mystics wrote about moments when the reflection shifted to reveal one's spiritual maturity before the body caught up. But what makes your experience unique is this. You didn't see an ancestor, a guide, or an angelic projection. You saw yourself, the highest form of prophecy, the most direct confirmation heaven can give. Not a message, not a symbol, a reflection of the person you are evolving into. When mirrors reveal the future, it means your timeline has begun accelerating and your destiny is stepping forward to meet you. Type 222 and click Join to enter the circle of the awakened mirrors. The moment after the reflection shifted, something inside you didn't feel normal, not in a frightening way, but in a way that made your body, your breath, and your awareness feel slightly out of sync with the room around you. That sensation wasn't confusion. It wasn't imagination. It was the aftershock of a mirror breach, a rare energetic event where your system makes contact with a higher version of itself. When two identities on different timelines intersect, even for a second, the body reacts. The nervous system stretches. The aura expands. The mind tries to reinterpret what it just witnessed. That's why your chest felt heavier, why your breathing shifted pace, why the air around you seemed thick for a moment. Your energy field was recalibrating after being exposed to a more evolved frequency, your future frequency. Encounters like this drain the body slightly, because the spiritual voltage is higher than what your current identity is used to carrying. It's the same sensation mystics describe after moments of revelation, a mix of fatigue, clarity, and heightened awareness. You didn't feel strange because something was wrong. You felt strange because something was upgrading. Part of you recognized the future identity as familiar, and another part realized that it must now grow into the version you saw. Your spirit surged ahead, and your body is simply catching up. The person you saw in the mirror wasn't a fantasy, a hallucination, or a symbolic metaphor. That was the destiny version of you. The identity your spirit has been maturing toward, step by step, decision by decision, breakthrough by breakthrough. Every soul has multiple versions of itself, but only a few ever reach the one heaven originally intended. Most people never meet their destiny form because they stay stuck in the patterns, fears, and emotional loops of their present identity. But your evolution reached a point where the future you couldn't stay hidden any longer. The face you saw carried traits that only emerge after significant spiritual alignment, a grounded calmness, a clarified presence, a deeper light in the eyes that comes from surviving battles you haven't fought yet but will win. The structure of the reflection was more refined because destiny has a way of reshaping a person from the inside out. You saw posture, confidence, and energy that don't belong to someone waiting, they belong to someone appointed. This version of you isn't aspirational, it's inevitable. It's already alive on a higher timeline, already walking in the strength, wisdom, and authority you're growing into. The mirror didn't show a possibility, it showed a certainty. You witnessed the end result of the transformation you've already begun, the form your spirit has chosen, the future identity pulling you forward with increasing force. Most people think their face is shaped only by genetics and aging, but the truth is far deeper. Energy sculpts identity long before biology catches up. Your reflection shifted because your inner frequency has risen to a level where your physical form can no longer remain the same. The future version you saw wasn't just spiritually upgraded, it was physically aligned with the vibration you're stepping into. When someone's spirit evolves, their eyes absorb more light. Their features begin to sharpen with purpose. Their presence becomes heavier, almost regal, as if the world instinctively recognizes authority before the mind understands it. This is why your reflection looked more defined, more focused, more intentional. Destiny leaves imprints on the body. Confidence etches itself into bone structure. Clarity lifts the eyes. Healing smooths the expression. Purpose straightens posture. As your soul expands, your physical appearance adapts to match the rank of the identity you are becoming. What you saw in the mirror wasn't cosmetic change. It was energetic truth taking form. The face you glimpsed is already forming beneath the surface of your current features. Your timeline is sculpting you. Your breakthroughs are sculpting you. Your alignment is sculpting you. The mirror simply revealed the transformation your body is preparing to embody, a look shaped not by the past, but by the destiny unfolding inside you. What you experienced isn't something the average person will ever encounter. Most reflections remain loyal to the present because most people remain loyal to their limitations. Their timelines stay flat, their frequency stays low, and their identity never evolves fast enough to disturb the surface of reality. But when a soul carries a higher mission, the rules shift. Reflective surfaces stop being decorative. They become instruments, portals, indicators of spiritual rank. Only individuals whose lives are intertwined with purpose, elevation, and destiny ever witness a reflection breach. These are the ones who influence timelines without trying, who awaken faster than their surroundings, who carry vibrations strong enough to bend perception for a moment. People like this often report strange events long before their breakthrough manifests. Mirrors flickering, lights reacting, shadows misaligning, reflections holding their gaze for a fraction of a second too long. These are not glitches, they're signals. And your mirror showing your future face is the clearest signal of all. It means your spiritual voltage has crossed into a threshold where heaven must reveal what's coming before you step into it. Ordinary souls never see alternate reflections. Only those with awakened missions and elevated vibration experience this type of phenomenon. The mirror responded to you because destiny recognized its own image and decided it was time to reveal it. The moment the mirror shifted, something in you understood the truth even before your mind caught up. This wasn't a mistake, and it wasn't a random spiritual anomaly. It was a mission signal. Your future self appeared because you've reached a point in your journey where doubt can no longer coexist with purpose. When someone is about to step into a higher assignment, heaven often reveals a glimpse of the identity required for the next chapter. Not to shock them, but to prepare them. The face you saw was not symbolic, it was instructional. It showed you the strength you will need, the calmness you will master, the authority you will carry, the clarity that will anchor you. It appeared now because the next phase of your life demands a version of you that is more aligned, more awake, and more spiritually fortified than the one you've been operating with. The mirror didn't show you who you could be. It showed you who you're supposed to become. And once a person sees their destiny self, the present identity loses its hold. You can't stay who you were after you've glimpsed who you're meant to be. Your future face was a revelation, a confirmation, and a recruitment, a reminder that your assignment is bigger than your current reflection. It appeared early so you would stop questioning your evolution and start embracing the identity waiting for you to grow into it. Once a person sees their future face, the timeline they stand on can no longer move at an ordinary speed. Moments like this trigger an automatic elevation, a spiritual acceleration that begins reshaping everything around you. The first shift happens internally. Your intuition sharpens. Decisions that once felt complicated suddenly become effortless. The noise inside your mind quiets, and your inner voice grows louder, clearer, more authoritative. Then the external shifts begin. Opportunities appear faster. Dead ends dissolve. People who aren't aligned with your next chapter drift away without conflict. New connections, ones that match the frequency of the identity you saw, begin showing up with uncanny timing. Your desires will change too. Things that once felt important lose their pull. You'll crave simplicity, clarity, structure, growth. This isn't personality change. It's alignment. Your spirit is pulling your life into the shape of the version you glimpsed. Even your habits will transform without force. Sleep patterns adjust. Energy rises at strange hours. Creativity spikes. Reflection moments call to you. It's not random, it's preparation. You are entering a phase where your timeline compresses, and progress that normally takes months can unfold in days. Seeing your future face wasn't the climax of the story, it was the ignition. The signal that everything from this point will unfold faster, clearer, and more intentionally than anything you've lived before. After a moment like the one you experienced, the mind may try to rationalize it, to label it imagination, stress, trick of the light. But your body, your spirit, and the environment around you often reveal the truth more clearly than the mind ever could. One of the strongest signs is the shift in atmosphere that follows a reflection breach. The room feels heavier, as if the air condensed for a second. This density is the residue of two timelines touching. Another sign is the flicker you sensed in the lights. Mirrors and electricity react similarly to high-frequency events. If the bulb dimmed, trembled, or changed tone, that was the physical world responding to a spiritual moment. You may also notice that your reflection seemed to look back with awareness, not in a creepy sense, but with recognition, as if your future identity acknowledged your presence. That's confirmation, not imagination. And then there's the internal evidence. The sudden stillness in your mind, the rush in your chest, the sense that something observed you, not as a threat but as a witness. Time itself may have paused. Even a 1-second freeze is enough to validate a breach. Finally, the memory remains unnaturally sharp. Ordinary reflections fade instantly, but supernatural ones imprint themselves. The fact that you remember every detail with clarity is proof that what you saw wasn't psychological noise. It was a meet point between who you are and who you are becoming. After an event where you witness your future self, your lifestyle can no longer remain casual or unconscious. Encounters like this are invitations into alignment, and the way you move in the days ahead determines how smoothly your transformation unfolds. The first instruction is observe mirrors with intention, not fear. They're no longer just objects for grooming, they've become instruments of communication between timelines. When you look into one now, do it with presence. Your reflection will feel different because you're different. Next, trust the sudden urges and instincts that rise from within you. After a breach, your intuition upgrades drastically. What used to feel like guesses will now feel like inner commands. Don't overthink them, follow them. Then, protect your energy fiercely. You're in a rapid elevation window, and low-frequency environments or people can slow your integration. Limit emotional noise, avoid draining conversations, and stay close to silence. Also, listen to your body. You may feel waves of tiredness or bursts of clarity, Both are signs of energetic recalibration. Let them guide your pace. Finally, prepare for rapid elevation. Your spirit is moving faster than your daily life, and your habits, routines, and mindset must catch up. Every decision now carries more weight because you're shaping the vessel that will house the future identity you saw. Live consciously, move deliberately, and stay aligned with the version of yourself that stepped through the glass. Type 555 and click Super Thanks to sow your $50 Timeline Ascension seed. What happened in front of that mirror wasn't a moment of imagination. It was a revelation, a disclosure of the identity waiting for you on the other side of your growth. You didn't just see a face. You saw a future, a timeline, a destiny, a version of yourself that has already conquered battles, stepped into purpose, and embraced the strength you're only beginning to feel. Most people live their entire lives without ever glimpsing who they are meant to become. But for you, the veil lifted. The future stepped forward. The reflection became a messenger. What looked like a visual anomaly was actually a contract. The moment where your spirit showed you the finished version of your story so that your current self would stop shrinking, doubting, or delaying. The face you saw wasn't asking for belief. It was demanding alignment. It didn't appear to impress you, it appeared to guide you. From now on, every decision you make will feel different because you've seen the destination your soul is steering you toward. Every challenge will feel smaller. Every shift will make sense. Every instinct will carry authority. You are no longer walking blind into your future. You have met it, and it is stronger, wiser, and more radiant than you imagined. You didn't witness a reflection. You witnessed a prophecy, one shaped in the glass, fulfilled in your steps, and written in the timeline already unfolding before you.